Trying to stay away from the hood devil, but it keep being tempting. I mean it and I meant it. I'm going through war in my brain. I feel sorry for the next years, for the next generation. We still trying to step here. My mama felt a bump on her breast there, so we struggle when we muscle through here. It's just trying to be legal. We got hit with something that was kind of lethal. They telling us we black and we not equal, and we some different type of people, but we the same. But who's to blame? They come to look for us like our name Saddam Hussein. And my man got framed. They found coke in his hood, and it ain't all good. Bomb blocks like Mayor Good. I'm back to the hood, and I'm thinking again. This some deep shit. This for my youngins. Just don't give up. If you can look up, you can get up. Young boy, I don't know your name, but I feel your pain. I probably was feeling the same. Young boy, I don't know your name, but I feel your pain. I probably was feeling the same. Young boy, I don't know your name, but I feel your pain. I probably was feeling the same.
Life will never be the same. Heart full of pain. My nigga got slain. It got me going insane. Trying to deal with something that we can't change. You was my young boy. Stood about 6'4". Died before your time over sisters' war. Now my heart goes out to your mom and the rest of the fam as we try to move on the best that we can. I was your boyfriend, and even when we broke up, the situation got a nigga choked up. This just the day we was blowing smoke up in a boom boom room. When Lemons, Dave, and Shiz playing Madden 06. Polo was the shirt, Air for One was the kicks. This is for my young boy Kareem Al Murray from 1-6. My young boy was the shit, and then I dedicate this head hit to my
young boy. I don't know your name, but I feel your pain. I probably was feeling the same. Young boy, I don't know your name, but I feel your pain. I probably was feeling the same. Young boy.
Yo, we back. Stame in the building.
You already know who it is, man. It's Mr. Not Your Regular, man.
We got a special guest. We're going to let him introduce himself, man.
Ebo in the building. What's going on, y'all?
What's going
What's
on?
going on, man?
Oh,
Welcome
man.
to Filoosh Talk, man.
Welcome to Filoosh Talk.
So what we on, Dave? Episode what? What's this, 30? 38?
Episode 38, man. All blessings, man. We learning. A lot of support, man. Everybody chiming in. They missed us last week. It was a little complications with the YouTube, but we back on, It is what it is. But we got a lot of hot topics to jump into this week.
Woo.
You know what I mean? A lot of stuff going on. First of all, hop into sports right quick. The Sixers made a lot of moves in the NBA. They got Paul George. They picked up a couple players. Drummond coming back. The Sixers looking good, man. They picked up quite a few dudes, man, on the offseason. They seeing what the Celtics doing. Major shout out to Jason Tatum. He made history, got 300 and something million from the Celtics. Listen.
Wasn't it like one of the biggest deals ever?
Yeah, that was like one of the biggest contracts in NBA history, man.
Yeah, so shout out to him.
Major shout out, man. Brown getting like damn near 300 million, man. Major shout out to them young brothers, man, But other than that, man, there's been a lot going on with the draft and sports and the NBA, But other than that, in the city, there's been a lot of violence going on in the city in the last week on the news with the youngins, a lot of shootings. It's getting hot outside, man. Everybody take it easy, man. Youngins with all this beef, man. Take it easy. I've been seeing a lot, man. And for me, I want to give a major shout out to Mike Knox, man. A lot of people been coming down on Knox for the last week. He did a little apology video to Meek Mills and his squad. And a lot of people taking it the wrong way. You know what I mean? I'm giving that man a major shout out to try to keep the city together, keep violence down. And, it is what it is. Some people want to see ignorance, man. But, we got to flip it. We got to do something better. You hear me? But other than that, man, how y'all brothers doing, man? How was your weekend? How was your week, man? How was your week, Ed?
Yeah, man. My weekend was all right, man. You know, spent a lot of time with the family. Like I said last week, you know, we had a death in the family. Cousin was killed in a car crash. You know, he's a firefighter, so you know he's pretty much a hero, man. It takes some heart to run in the fires. I mean, to run in to go get somebody. You know what I mean? So shout out to my cousin Ron, man. We miss you, we love you. But pretty much we was just spending a lot of time with the family, a lot of family time, a lot of laughing, crying, joking, you know. So like I said, man, it was definitely a weekend. You know, we put him to rest tomorrow. So rest in peace to Ron, man. We love you.
Rest in peace, man.
Shout out to the family, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
We're spending in, man. Before we get started with my man, I just wanted to pay homage to this brother sitting next to me, man. Just a real stand-up guy. Since I was a young guy, man, he one of them guys I can look up to. Always just portray good imagery in the hood. Never seen nothing negative. No hiccups, man. Like just a thorough all-around brother. Good brother in the community. So, you know, here on Filoosh Talk, we bring in brothers that's just everyday men, man. That's thorough. You know, family men. That's, you know, a pillar in the community. So that's how we get here, man. It's my man
solid.
King Ebo, you know, real solid brother, you know. So, you know, we kicking it today though, you know?
Hey, good brother.
Kicking it, man.
How was your weekend, good brother?
My weekend was beautiful, man. Every day above ground is beautiful for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's facts. Well, listen, I want to kick off. I want to just jump into this hip hop news real quick.
Okay. Before we get started.
Ricky Rose had a little altercation in Canada. Had a little altercation in Canada. You know what I mean? The Canadian thugs ran up on him. And, you know, they put foot to ass. So.
Well, I'm going to tell you something about Rose. If anybody's seen that footage, he's expert at what to do. Rose fell back real. You know, some people run straight into the fire.
No, he was running away from it.
He said, let me see everything going on. Because, you know, when you ain't in your city and your town, man, you know, the internet is crazy, man. You could just post you having a show tonight, man, and it can be 1,000 goons turn out. You know, Rose only had a couple guys. I don't think he was properly prepared.
He thought Canada was sweet, man. You talk a lot of shit, right? You was going around trolling Drake, talking shit. You know, and I'm not a Drake fan. You know what I mean? But he thought because he was Canadian, they was soft. He did something called fuck around and find out. You know what I mean? He found out real quick that them Canadian gangsters was with all the smoke from the rip.
But all blessings to Rose in his camp. I hope nobody wasn't really hurt. You know what I mean?
Facts.
You
No,
know,
no shooting got
the
happened.
violence down. All this talk and all this beef and will turn into something crazy. We lost a lot of rappers just talking. You know what I mean? So
yeah, man,
we gotta change our thinking. You know
everybody want to be a gangster until it's time to be one, man.
True, baby. That
You know
was
what I
some
mean?
serious rap, man.
So
You know? But
yeah.
now, spending into things. Evo, you know, we want to just kick it with you today, man. I wanted to get into some stuff.
Get into it, man. Whatever you want to talk about, let's do it.
Man.
Let's go.
I wanted
Do
to
it.
I wanted to tap on something like back in the day. I ain't even gonna say back in the day. We got a term called OG, right?
Mhm.
And I want to know, do that still exist? Like, is there still some thorough men out here that's telling the young boys something that's tangible, something they can take? You know
How
what I
long
mean?
do I have to talk about that? Well, there are some thorough OGs out here. But I mean, I come up in the era where I came up around thorough OGs and I came up around some dogs, real dogs, right? I wouldn't call myself a regular cat. You know what I mean? I was who I was.
Mm-hmm.
I would always try to find out what the balance was between guys that I grew up back then and some of the cats that I see now, because I run across a lot of, especially in the shop. Like, what's the difference between them and these young kids right now. And what I got out of it was like I'm gonna go heavy on you. First, I'm gonna give you this.
Following.
Back in the day, so when I say back in the day, I'm saying back in my day. I'm talking 70s and 80s. Okay. When you woke up and Pop was gone, he wasn't nowhere around. Right? We would ask the question, well, where Dad at? You know what I mean? Right. Mom never bashed Dad and said, well, he wasn't no good, this, that, and third, he left. We never knew why Pop really left until we got older. So we was never really brainwashed with that foolishness coming from either Mom or Dad, bashing them about why they left and this, that, and third. That's why a lot of kids now are so angry. You know what I mean? Because we into a whole different dimension, a whole different world. You know what I mean? I don't want to use race, but some people are patient. You know, I'm talking about white folks are patient. We on the podcast. I'm gonna talk.
Yeah, man, talk.
So
man.
Anyway,
no holding back.
You know, so back then we didn't have. Our parents didn't tell us, well, your pop wasn't shit, your mom wasn't shit, this, that, and the third, or whatever. So our mindset was, we just gonna go out here and we gonna get it the best way we can. But we not, you know. So when I seen my pop, I'm gonna give you an example. I seen my pop after 10 years and not seeing him. And I was happy as hell to see him. You know what I'm saying? Young people now, they hear about their father back in the day, and their father might have been a gangster, hustler, or whatever. He could have been a good contractor. But the mom never, you know, they heard that off the street. They always had a problem with their father because they never seen him. But they always wanted to be like their father. They wanted to carry that name. Like, yeah, that's my pop, that's my pop. But they would never give their father that respect, right? And that's because of what was fed in their head from when they was babies. Right. You know what I'm saying? That your father just wasn't shit. You know what I'm saying? So that right there cut everything in half. So when they grew up, they didn't come up like us. Right. That was the respect that our parents, they always had that level of respect that they would feed into us. You know what I'm saying? And that respect is gone now. You know,
I agree with that.
So it's like now, you know, these kids, they want to be like their father in certain kind of ways, but they don't know how to. You know what I mean? But they don't want to sit down and talk to their father and have respect. Now, when you go flip it and you go back to the father in real time now, the father might have been, again, a killer, a hustler, whatever. He might still be living, but he might have changed his life around. He found something that changed his life around, you know what I mean? And he might have another family, he might live somewhere in a big house or whatever, but then his son is still living the same way, and he's holding that grudge against his father. And not only the son, people on the street, like, damn, I remember he used to be a cold-blooded gangster. He could be out here talking to these kids. Why he not talking to these kids? Well, so you didn't sit in that jail cell with that man for 25 years, you know, after he did what he did or whatever, and what he thought about and how he became who he is right now. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like a real man.
The process it took to get there.
Right. So now we getting into the world of judging.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now we judging, we judging our father, we judging our mother because they look good to us. And why can't we have what you have? Okay, son, I'm going to give it to you, but you got to do it this way. You can't do it your way because your way is not working. Right. You know what I'm saying? So then they blame the father, and then they say, okay, my friends are my family over everything. They got tattoos and everything, right? And then they do all of these things unconsciously because they just don't know. They don't have people with podcasts like, you know, that they can look and they can see and they can hear it, because people tend to listen to other people before they listen to their parents.
Yo, that's fact.
That's deep, man.
Right.
That's fact.
So when
That's
you're not
real
talking
rap.
to your mom well, let me reverse that. When your mother or your father is not talking to you about some things that happen without discrediting the mother and the father, then it's never going to work. Right. That's why I said back in the 70s and 80s, our parents didn't talk to us about what they was going through. Whatever they went through, they split up, they broke up, and that was the end of that. That's why you always loved your father when you seen him. Right. You know what I'm saying? So now we living in a world right now where young boys just don't trust us. You know what they trust? They trust guys that they see that look good, that drive nice cars, and they laid back and they cool and this, that, and the third or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But that could be a good thing.
Right.
Because that's how I reach kids. You know what I mean? Young kids. You know how many young kids that I see on a daily for the last 32 years, because I work with kids. That's what I do. But I've seen some of the worst kids right now that work at the post office, that work at UPS. They did something. They contractors now. They in their 40s. They
PPA,
late 30s.
water
Right.
department.
And you might think like this boy ain't going. He going to die on the street. This, that, and the third. But that don't have to be. So times change. You know what I'm saying? Everything changes. But you don't have. So the mistake that we making is we changing with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We changing with it.
I agree
You know what I'm
with that.
saying? And we gotta be still, and I'm real observant of a lot of stuff, man. I see a lot of stuff. Like, I'm really glad to be here. You know what I mean? To express myself. I always like to talk. You know what I'm saying? But this thing with these kids, with the shooting and the killing and stuff like that, you know, it's horrible. It's bad. But see, I'm not the type of person that's going to say it's only going to get worse, because I think it's going to get better.
Right.
I truly believe that it's going to get better.
Right.
You know, I came up in the crack epidemic, bro. You know
y'all
what I mean?
y'all couldn't see that changing.
Right. I never got high, but we could never see that changing. You know, I seen some of the prettiest women in the world that look like cold-blooded dragons. You know what I'm saying? But then now I see them and they look great. But that was a change that we never seen coming.
Imagine how many drugs was created since.
Exactly. So now we dealing with the chemical warfare thing. So some young boys be telling me about drugs, and I'll be like, well, what the hell is that? You know what I'm saying? So they went from the weed to the mushrooms to this to that to the dope and all. So there's so many things out here that they could touch.
Pills.
You know what I'm saying? But they really need that guidance thing is real heavy now. Like we gotta stop being afraid, because there's 10,000 ways to reach a young person instead of hollering at them or degrading them,
Right.
or judging them. There's so many ways.
That's facts.
Eve, I want to touch on something right
Go
quick.
ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Track back to something you was talking about with the kids, right? This mainly for young men. This not even for the daughters and the young women. I did something with my parents that was real important when I was young. I separated the two relationships. You know what I mean? I never could judge my parents' relationship, right? So I separated the two, and I was tight with both of my parents. That's very important. So sometime as a young boy, I don't care what your mom told you. If your father around here in the city of Philadelphia, go sit down with your pop, man. If he accessible. Now, if he a man that don't want to talk to you, don't want to see you, he might smack you if you knock on his door. There's no way you can talk to him. But I'm saying, if there's a reasonable sounded man and he in the city of Philadelphia, sit down with your father, because the stories can be told in different ways, man. You know,
all about perspective.
and that's important, man. It's real important, because a lot of these young men don't have their fathers, man. So we got to kind of touch on that, man. And I just wanted to say, sometime as when we're young, we don't even understand the importance, but separate the relationships if your parents maybe not together at some point.
Right.
That's important. I just wanted to touch on that.
I just want to piggyback and say that what people forget is that it's not about how you start life, it's about how you finish. So as long as you're waking up every day, you can rebuild and repatch and fix these relationships, because we are not here for a long time. We're not here for a long time. And when people pass, we miss them. So if you can mend the relationship, like Dame said, if he don't want to have nothing to do with you, that's a different thing. But if he trying to reach you and trying to get with you, why not just have that conversation? It might make you feel better. And then after that, if you decide you still don't want to deal with him, don't deal with him.
Somebody just wrote something happy up there. Somebody wrote something happy on the joint.
Can't even see the whole thing. Oh, that's some bull. Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Yeah, I felt like when I was reading, I'm like, this sounds like some bot shit. This one ain't even real.
But
That's
that
all
was
I
an
had to say with
important
that.
point, man. Like I say, life is a journey, man, and you know. So now, what I tell young guys, man, I got 3 sons and 1 daughter. I say, listen, don't make no kids right now, man, unless you're really ready.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot lay down and make a baby by a young lady you're not really connected to and expect to have good results.
Yeah, that's true.
So we got to really teach our sons and for the young guys, man, and young women, have some fun, man. Go to school, go get a trade, man. Go live life, travel. You know, all that bonded relationship while you're young and stressed out and you're having kids, you're going to hurt yourself if the person leave you. And I want to touch on something, man, that's been happening in the city that's been bothering me, man. These guys, when they leave these women, they've been hurting the women, man. You know, we don't own people, man. You know, it's possible a woman can wake up one day and say she don't like you, big homie. I don't care who you
okay
is.
with the shit.
You know, these brothers killing women, man. They don't even mind going to prison for it, man. It's crazy right now.
Well, see, that part right there is kind of what I was talking about in the beginning of the podcast. So, a lot of these, and no offense to nobody, because I don't even like using the term young boy when I'm speaking, or just talk about young boys directly, because I know a lot of young boys that's doing great. I mean, super great, that I didn't even think was going to do great. But some young boys use their mother as psychological girlfriends. Okay, so when they get up under their mom for so long, and they see that mom put that covering around them, even though they cutting up or doing whatever, when mom finally let them go, and they find a girlfriend, that's not your mother, that's your girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? See, that's gonna be your mother for the rest of your life. But just like you said, if that girl wanna leave, let her go. Don't hurt her. You know what I mean? That ain't cool. I don't care if that's your baby mom. It's not your mother.
We don't own people, folks.
We don't
own people.
Stop the violence, man.
Right.
Don't hurt them women, man.
Yeah.
Stop it. Protect
Cut that
the
emotional
women and
shit
the
out,
kids.
man.
What happened to that, man?
Get
Protect
too
the
emotional. And then you spaz out and
yeah,
do
the
some
numbers
dumb
been
shit.
like alarming. I just been hearing more and more stories. I'm like, man, something is going on out here. So I work in the mental health field, man, and I talk to young guys a lot about pouring into themselves, man. First, I say it all the time, man. I might sound like a broken record, but don't start off life not pouring into yourself first, man. Get your self-esteem in order, man. Get you a career. Get something under your belt. Then when you holler at the women, you on point. You got your own place. You're driving.
Yeah, your respect level goes through the roof.
Yeah,
Right.
The arguments change.
Yeah, it's a different kind of
Conversation a
argument,
little different.
You moving in with these chicks, they talk crazy. Too.
And you know what the good part about that is? When you fall short, she gonna pick it up.
Right.
She gonna pick it up. I'm married, man. I've been with my wife for 31 years. If I fall short, my wife she gonna pick it up. You know what I mean?
That's
Without a doubt.
That's
That's
definitely
heavy.
heavy.
And see, a lot of men don't really know that feeling of having that type of strong woman next to them that's thorough, that's about their well-being. See, a lot of these dudes on the internet talking about booties and how this woman look and don't have nobody that care about them at home.
You know why
man.
that is, right? Because broke people, hurt people attract hurt people. And when, you don't have any good examples, the cycle just continues and continues. And, and that's what it be. It be two hurt motherfuckers, two broken motherfuckers get together, right? Have a toxic-ass relationship, make babies.
Ooh, baby.
Then the cycle just repeats.
Right.
Yeah.
And we got to change that. You got a lot of good couples out here that work together, but it's not as many as the ones that don't. That trauma bonding shit is real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Motherfuckers do it all the time. You know, you got trauma, I got trauma. We talk about the trauma. We understand each other.
Yeah, so
Now we think we love each other. And it's not that we even love each other. We love the fact that somebody understands you.
Yeah.
So we gotta get a grip on that, man. And you gotta fix yourself. You gotta work on yourself, man. You gotta work on yourself. You know what I mean? We all got work to do.
Tell us a little bit about your journey into barbering, man. I kind of remember when you started, man. Like I was young, but I remember your journey, man.
So honestly, when I first started cutting hair, before I started cutting hair, so you know this, our neighborhood was just like it was borderline New Jack City. You know what I'm saying? It was. You know what I mean? So it was some shit. Listen, man, from 75th, 72nd and Oregon all the way up to Sharpnack Street, Vernon Road. It was New Jack City. But see, I was one of them type of cats, like I said in the beginning, where I knew everybody. I was cool with everybody, but I wasn't a hustler. So one thing I don't do is co-sign a lie. When somebody tell me, oh man, his family was cold-blooded hustlers, they was getting millions and this, that, and third, I'm not going to co-sign that lie because I've never seen $1 million. And I never got none of that because I wasn't a hustler. So I never forget, a friend of mine was getting high, and he owed me a couple dollars, which I really didn't care, but he gave me a Crown Royal bag with some clippers in it. And me and my man, we call him Bank. We was down North Philly, living down north, and we ain't had no money, man. We was broke as a joke. We was broke. It was horrible. So I started shaping everybody up in the crib, and I started getting good at it. So the little kids on the block started coming to me, and I would charge them $5 to cut their hair, and I was like, damn, like I built me a little clientele of 15, 20 people.
Right.
So I'll never forget this old head boy named Al down 19th Sedgley. He said, damn, young boy, you should really try going into barber school. So I was stuck in between going to school or running up Sharpnack to try to hustle. Because again, I called myself a ghost hustler, right? So I
know what you're talking about.
I chose to go to barber school, and I surrounded myself around people that really knew how to cut hair. You know what I mean? And I learned, and I started liking it. You know what I mean? And I never forget one Christmas, because I was celebrating Christmas at this time, that I had 2 kids and they didn't have anything, and I didn't have no money to buy them nothing for Christmas. And this old head, Mr. Purdy, he found out that I was in school, and he let me come in the shop and cut. I never forget this. And I made like $300, and I couldn't believe that I had $300 from cutting hair. So I flew out of that joint, and I went up Corvette, so one of them joints, and I bought my kids all these toys, and I took them home, and they couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? So after that, it was just like, I just kept going and going and going, and then, like, people always ask me, hey, yo, is your real name Ebo? How long you had that name? I don't even know where I got this name from. I really don't. And I don't even know.
I know
I had it for about almost 40 years, but I don't know where I got it from. But I started cutting, and I started cutting it. Before you know it, you know, I was making 6 figures, and then I'm making past 6 figures. You know what I mean? Cutting hair.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like literally cutting hair. That's what I was doing. So I went from hair to owning my own stuff. Like this mine's. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like
a blessing,
so
that's a blessing.
The barbershop is my sanctuary because I could cut hair, I could talk to people, I could talk to young people. I had people cry in my chair. I had a couple boys die in my chair. You know what I'm saying? I seen a lot cutting hair. It's just something I love to do. I'm almost 60 years old. I've been cutting since I was in my early 20s.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And I never lost the love for it. Never lost the love for it at all. So, yeah. Well,
so would you advise a young guy
in a heartbeat
to become a barber that don't really know what they want to do?
And I will teach them. I will come in there on a Sunday like I've done for a couple boys uptown. I will come in there on a Sunday and I will teach them. Free of charge. Once they get taught it, I mean, they basically on their own to get their license, which a lot of them don't want to do. But regardless of whether they get their license or not, they end up to these star barbers. Right. It's important to have a license, but they got the concept. You know what I mean? So they got it.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of programs to help you get the barber's license.
Not as many as they should or they used to. Barbering used to be easy to get into. The state would fund it. That's another thing I got to talk to a couple of my little politician friends about. You know what I'm saying? You know, making that barber and beauty thing a little more accessible like it was back in the 80s and the 90s, because they made it hard. You know, hard for us. Right. The minorities. Like, look at what's going on in our neighborhood. Like, some people that open up a barbershop, and I don't know if you notice or not, if you renting or leasing a building, you have to sometimes get signatures in that neighborhood to open up that business if you're a minority. Wow. But you see these smoke shops opening 24 hours, they don't do none of that. You know what I mean? And no shade on them or nothing like that, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So they making it hard for us to open up business. You know why? Because just like I said earlier in the show, I'm not giving up on what's going on, because I can see it coming together when other people can't. You know what I'm saying? So as soon as we get past that hump, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of stuff that's going on, man, we just gotta wake up, man, as a people, man. We gotta stop hating on each other. Like, seriously, we do.
Why the hate so high, man?
Listen, man, look.
Is it the internet? What happened, man? Because we was around at a time it wasn't that happening.
It's before the internet.
Let me tell you something. It's happened before the internet. You know what really kills me the most? To watch a 50-year-old all of a sudden turn into a gangster. And I'm talking about when all the real true, and I'm going to tell you, EA can attest to this, when all the real true OGs died, they want to step up and be gangsters now. And it just makes me sick. You know, it saddens me, because the young boys don't know that you fraud. They only, I don't know, bro. It's just,
you said they had to wait some years.
It's a weird situation, because it's a catch-22. Okay, you got young people doing their thing, but you also got some ignorant ass old heads out here, you know what I'm saying, that's coaching that shit along. You know what I'm saying?
And they ain't bust not one gun.
Right. Then you go home to your crib and you go chill, but you feeding them that nonsense. So when they go to jail, they not calling that old head to help them or put money on their books. They calling the same father that they wasn't talking to.
All them years. But you know what we got to stop doing the older we get? Stop telling these youngins all these stories, man.
The stories
if you had 5,000 bricks, I believe you. If you killed an army of people, I believe you, man. Don't tell these youngins what you done. You had all the Cadillacs and Lincolns when they first started, the Acuras. You know, let these youngins go their own way, because the hustle switched up so much. You can't even compare back in the day no more, man.
I honestly think that some of these young boys ain't even trying to hear what old heads even talking about.
I kind of beg to differ. I feel you.
So some of them definitely.
Some of them
don't feel like hearing it. You know what I mean, a lot of them, because you got to think about it. Like you said, some of those old heads that now they G's wait to be gangsters, but these young boys is really out here doing it.
Doing it for real.
Really doing it. So they're not trying to hear what the fuck he talking about.
But let's stop that. I won't really say they doing it. They think they doing it. What they're doing, there's no money or nothing involved. See, we come from a different era where it was paper in the streets. When Evo say Uptown was New Jack City, he ain't lying.
No,
these guys running around with $0. They're not doing it. No. They're acting like.
I'm talking about as far as the actual putting in that quote unquote work. They're doing it. Then that's what they get into, and it's not nothing to glorify. But what I'm saying is that some of them don't be trying to listen to these old heads. They just be talking.
See, that's what patience come in at.
I mean,
that's what patience, because you gotta be patient with them. So what I mean by patience, like this say I'm walking up the block to get. I was going to say a newspaper. I'm old as fuck, but I'm going up to the store to go get a water, right? And I see the young boys chilling on the corner. So I walk through them. A couple days later, I say in my speech to them, yo, what's going on, y'all? After about a week or two of them seeing me, I guarantee you they going to know my name. They going to know my name. You know what I'm saying? One of them might ask me if I want to buy some weed. No, youngin', I don't smoke. But thank you. No, not. I don't tell them, no, get the fuck out of here. Don't fuck with that shit. Get out of here. I'm not doing that. Because it was the time that I used to stand on that corner and try to sell weed. You know what I'm saying? So so you gotta have patience sometimes with certain people. And I don't want to just use young boys and young girls. I'm talking about you gotta have patience, period, to get through to somebody that you feel like you can't get through to them. Because after a while, they gonna know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Then they gonna speak to you, and then that opens up the line for dialogue with them. Like, what's up, man? What's going on, man? What
And
you
that's
doing?
real.
You know what I mean? What you up to? What you doing?
But it's your approach. See, the way you just said it, that's thorough. That's solid. Not a lot of motherfuckers is doing that. Not a lot of these old heads is doing that. Because if that was the case, it wouldn't be as bad.
That's why when you say
the ball been dropped a long time ago.
That's why when you say OGs, man, it's like so a certain. There's a lot of different definitions for OGs.
I don't call everybody an OG.
You could be original gentleman, you could be original gangster, or you could just be original geek. You know what I'm saying? Or just original sucker without the G.
Right.
But everybody ain't a gangster, and that's not a title that you really want to hold on to. You know, when it comes to OG, because I really don't truly believe that OG was meant to be original gangster. And it's crazy because I'm gonna find out exactly. I'm gonna research that and find out what that really means.
Well, see, when I throw around the terminology OG, I just look at it as like somebody that's thorough, man, and somebody we can look up to. I don't even put it in a gangster sense. You ain't had to kill nobody.
Right.
You ain't had to hurt nobody. You ain't had to own no block. You could be, I'm going to give you an example. I got a brother who grew up across the street from me. Just a thorough family man. You know what I mean? Like, I look at him as an OG. Always minded his business. Keep his property clean. You know, raise sons thorough. I call that like just a thorough OG. Always respectful, man. Hey, how you doing? What's up? That's it. You know what I mean? So that's what I be saying when I say that. I don't. Some people looking to say, "Oh, this person hurt everybody. He was a force back in the day. He had 30 bricks." And no, man, that ain't what I'm talking about. You know, that don't exist no more.
And you know what a real young boy say? It's a whole different day, OG. Yeah, a young boy told me that one day, and I had to respect him because he was right.
He ain't lying.
Because he not sitting there listening to the, you know, the glorification of the bullshit. He was like, "It's just a different day, OG," and I had to respect him because it is. It's a different day. But we still, as parents and as fathers and as men, you know what I'm saying? We still gotta find a way to tap into them because there's a way to tap into them. You know about. I ain't gonna get deep with the third eye. There's a way that you can holler at these young boys. It's just called patience. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a podcast. I can say what I want to say. Yeah. Right? These whiteys back in the late 50s, they designed everything that's going on right now. They started this shit back in the 50s, right? I'm talking about as far as housing projects. And us as a black family, we thinking that they looking out for us and they hooking us up and they giving us food stamps and food and this, that, and the third. They was patient enough to give us that in phases until you see the father gone, everybody gone, the uncle ain't thorough no more, he ain't talking to me no more, he getting high, and this, that, and the third, you know what I'm saying? So now, it's past being strong. You know what I'm saying? Especially for our youth, it's past being strong for them. Like, they really need us. They need somebody that's going to tap into them. Somebody that's going to be patient. We running out of time.
But but you got to ask yourself this, too. Do patience have limits?
Patience has no limits. Patience is what it is. Patience don't have no limits. Patience never runs out. Remember that saying? You never run out of patience. You know,
as parents, as you
parents
know,
never run out of patience, bro. You know, I don't care how
dealing with your lady, you better have patience in all these different, you know.
You gotta have patience. Some you could touch, some you can't. I'm gonna tell you a story about this young boy from uptown. When I tell you I love this boy to death, man. When this boy first came in my shop, another young boy, when he left, another young boy was like, "Yo, you know who he is?" I said, "No." He said, "Man, he cool killer." But he did sit in the shop and he was real quiet waiting for somebody to get a cut. When he came back to the shop, I speak to him. Then one day, I said, youngin, let me cut that nappy head. He was like, no, I'm cool, OG. I said, at least let me fade your neck. I faded his neck. He liked it. Then after that, he kept coming back. He kept coming back. So I've known this young boy since 2007. 2007, right? This boy done been in and out of jail. You know what I mean? He done did whatever. But right now, he got 2 kids. Mom is on her. When I first met his mom, she looked at me and cried and said, I can't believe what you did to my son. I said, I didn't do that. He did it. All he did was just stay with me. I remember the day he got my car, and he ain't like it because I was playing the Osley Brothers. So I said, well, just turn on what you want to turn on. And he took a drive with me. I ain't even really know him like that. But I've been knowing this kid up until the day. You know what I'm saying? And now he's a supervisor at, what's that, Walgreens. You know what I mean? And he out the way and he doing his thing. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, wow. And he came to see me 2 weeks ago and I couldn't believe it. I ain't seen him in like 2 years. He said, I just came in to give you a hug, OG. I got to get out of here. I got my kids with me.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't tell me that you can't change some of them.
See,
you
you a good
definitely
example
changed
too,
some, but you
man.
a good example.
Show the example, man. You a thorough example. See, we gotta show them to work hard, man. First of all, I tell these guys, man, when the sun rises, we should be up as men. You laying in bed all day or something, there's something wrong with you, man. You're hustling, you're coming out at 12, 1 o'clock, you cut hair, you come in the shop at 3. You know, you gotta grind in a certain way. We gotta work for what we want, man. We have to work hard for what we want. That's what kind of got distorted in the world. These youngins don't even believe in jobs, man. My son had told me, man, my son was like 17. He said, Dad, I wouldn't catch the bus to work. I said, what you mean, son? How would you obtain a car if you don't catch the bus first? You know? Yeah, I don't do that. I say, well, listen. I work hard for what you want, man. A car don't come to you. You know, he driving now, but work hard for what you want, youngins, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, go tackle it, man.
Yeah.
There's so many jobs out here, man. Sometimes it saddens me when I see so much petty crime. You know, these little restaurants paying $16, $17 an hour. What was minimum wage when you was young, Evo?
Shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was making $311 every 2 weeks, and I loved it. That was a cheesesteak of 40 and enough money to take my girl to the movies. I was good. I never forget. I took my girl to Ruth Chris. I ain't even know. Hey, listen, my man Jay, man, God rest his soul, he used to go to Ruth Chris all the time. So I wanted to show off for this girl, and I took her to Ruth Chris, and I might have had $110 left. My tab was like a deuce. I was so embarrassed. I had this big old steak and all that, and I'm showing off. But she paid it. She ain't talked to me after that, but she paid it. And look, but the crazy part about it, but dig the move. She's one of my favorite female friends right now, and every time we get together, she tell that story. But
don't forget it.
Right, but wherever we at, I make sure I take care of tab or whatever, even if she tell me no, because I never forgot that. I was super embarrassed.
Yo,
I ain't get.
You should have hit her with.
I ain't even get a kiss.
You know what you should.
That was the worst.
Baby, I gotta go to the bathroom.
No, I wasn't doing that to her because she was thorough. Because it would have got back uptown what I did, and they'd have been looking at me like, you a clown. You got that, John, and you did that. But yeah, $311 every 2 weeks.
Man.
That's what I was making. I think minimum wage now is what, $16, $17 an hour. You know what I mean? That's a lot for the start. You know what I mean? My next door neighbor, where I live at in King of Prussia, my neighbors drive Ubers, brother. The wife and the husband. I'm sorry, where I used to live at North Wells, they drive Ubers, right? But you should see the crib that they live in. You know what I mean? Like, they leave out the same time. They back by 5:30, 6 o'clock. They drive Uber. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell me. You can't tell me that we not living an American dream. Like, like everybody ain't gonna make the same money. That's just
or
how
the
it
same
is.
way, or the same.
You know
way.
what I'm saying? But like you said, you can't. Ain't nothing come to a dreamer but a dream. Fuck it.
Right.
It is what it is.
Right. Right.
Facts.
And I
Facts.
see, I kind of learned that young, man. Like, I've been working since I was 14. I was cutting grass uptown at 15. I was calling my cousins from down north, man. There's money up here, man. Come up here for the weekend. We cutting the whole hood. We was knocking on people's doors. I'm talking about I was young, man. And I brought my son into it. He used to do the snow. I wanted him to get into the grass thing. Man, I got a dude uptown, he about 65 years old. He cut more grass than any young person y'all know in the city. Talking about, he said he got at least 100 customers,
You
man.
talking about the white boy? Look like he white.
His name Mr. Osborne, man. Thorough, he a Jamaican brother, man.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, he got at least 20 years in uptown, over 100 and something customers. He can't even take no more. So you young brothers that's scared to work, scared to get dirty, scared to get y'all Timbs dirty.
I'll buy your lawnmower. And I'll buy your lawnmower and a weed whacker. That's my word.
You heard him.
I heard
Shit.
him right.
You heard him.
Man.
I want to see a young guy tap in, man. Call his bluff, man.
Yeah, no,
and
yeah,
I'm telling you,
I
you're
ain't
going to
never
make
bluff.
that the first day, first week. Man, uptown
These
is
young boys is not-
it's almost $30
That's
to
a
get
good
your grass
hustle, but
cut.
these
Great
young
hustle.
boys is not trying to cut
wanna
nobody's
get
grass.
dirty.
They not doing it.
They going to cut
They
somebody's
not.
grass
So,
and be like that.
so
That
one
little-
thing, right? If we
little
gonna shout
window.
things out, we got to be more realistic about what we shouting out, because at the end of the day, they not cutting no grass. They don't want to cut no grass.
Well,
That's the furthest thing that they want to do is be out there in that
see,
heat.
when
cutting
you
grass.
eliminate stuff like that, then you saying that you lazy. You give it, and them same guys.
Oh, they lazy.
Hold up, hold
They
on.
lazy.
Let me tell you what them guys do. They go upstate and mop the floor for 20 cents an hour.
Yeah.
That's
Do you
true.
know that?
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
20 cents an hour. And guess
Yes.
what else? The old head, Sully gonna teach them how to be respectful. Tell them
your
to take
shoes
their
off
shoes
at the
off,
cell with the
keep the
door.
cell clean, don't have no crumbs on the table.
Yeah.
They gonna teach them how to be a man.
They going to learn
So,
that.
so one way you gonna learn. You don't want to work for the $18 an hour. They got 18 cents for you. You know, you got to pick a lane. So
They do.
we can't be saying
But
all these kids wouldn't do that.
No, what I'm
How
saying is
could
we
you
gotta
make
have
untaxed
realistic
money
things, man.
right now this weekend?
We gotta have realistic things. They not doing that. We know they not doing that.
Plus the
They
fact,
not.
man, the way this world is going, we need y'all out here for real. We
Man,
need
listen. Barbers, how much your haircut costs now? Well, like this stuff,
Now that's
we
realistic.
got to do the math.
The
man.
barber thing is realistic. Them coming with you on Sundays or whatever, you taking that time out.
They
That's
gotta
realistic.
still want it.
They'll do that.
They got to still
What
want
I'm
it.
saying is
Yeah, they
that's a
definitely gotta
realistic
want
thing
it.
to throw to them.
Even
definitely
don't have a
gotta want
room full of young
You know what
boys
I mean?
knocking on no doors, wanting to cut no heads, man. They got to want it.
They
gotta
Definitely
want
gotta
it,
want
man.
it for sure. But it gotta be real. It gotta be something that they gonna want to do.
Most
though.
of the people that come to me, they older, like in their 40s,
You see, ain't that something?
50s. Like, I know a young boy right
You
now,
gotta
man.
promote it out there.
I
Promote.
mean,
Let's get that shit out
I
there.
mean-
Have these young boys come through.
listen, man.
You
I
know.
talk to
If
young
you
boys
serious
all day.
about
Young boys
barbering,
don't want to do that.
listen, I'm going to tell you, if you're young right now, and matter of fact, Big Nah, one of our former guests on the show, is actually in barber school. Shout out to my youngin' doing his thing.
That's what's
You
up.
know, he's making moves, man. He tried out a few things. Bam, went to barber school. He don't mind stepping in these trades. You know, that's how it gotta be, man. Get something under your belt, man. I'm telling you, man, I pay $40 every week for my cut, man. I know some of these barbers $50, $60, $75, man.
Hey, shit
If
gets-
you can't
gets
make
expensive.
$40, $50 an hour, don't talk to me, youngin'. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I mean, but you got to let them know you ain't gonna make that from the rip. That ain't gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Well, I'm talking about
That ain't
long
gonna
term. If you get sharp, you get around the right barbers, you get some experience. The barbershop's prices are high. They charging $20 to $30 to cut kids right now.
But the most important thing is consistency, being there.
Right.
That's the most important.
Being
part.
dependable.
Oh yeah, you gotta be sharp too, man. Let me.
You
You gotta be sharp.
No. So
Fuck
it's,
nobody
so,
head up.
So you
We don't want no
no,
zigzags.
no, you can be sharp. You could be sharp, but there's some regular average barbers that come to work at 7 in the morning and leave at 6. That's making real money. I'm talking about real money, and they not doing the extra stuff. They cut ain't on sharp like yours.
But see,
You know
the
what I'm
thing
saying?
is,
They
but
doing
see,
their
I
thing.
respect that barber because he's super consistent. He's going to work hard. The man who works hard is going to beat the sharp guy who's sleep to 12, 1 o'clock. Got 3 people waiting at the shop.
Right, then you gotta remember it's not just young people or people your age getting cut. It's
gotta-
older people, it's women.
We got a
Somebody
question,
asked you a
man.
good question.
Which
Which
hood
head
has
has the best barber, in my opinion? I'm gonna have to say I'm from South Philly. I am, but I'm gonna have to say Uptown, hands down. But then South Philly.
Okay.
I gotta give a shout out to young Fahim and them. They killing them down there. But Uptown, yeah,
for sure.
yeah, Uptown, yeah. I mean, that was just my opinion. My opinion.
Somebody said they're not.
That was my opinion. That was my opinion.
Well, you know my barber uptown. Evo done cut me, man. Like I done been to all the sharp barbers uptown, man. Shout out to all the barbers, man, that really put in that work. For real, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of
shout out.
barbers in Philly that been going through the same thing a lot of these young people
They
going
do
through.
their
But they got to the point where they just said, I'm cool, I'd rather go this route.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I
man.
mean?
And y'all see a lot, man, being a barber. Like
They like
y'all
bartenders.
hear the streets.
They hear everything.
Y'all get to see guys break up with their women. Y'all
Yeah.
get to hear everything in the
See a
shop.
motherfucker car get keyed, windows bust. Y'all, yeah.
Okay, he's saying some of the spots. Okay.
Pretty boys, NBA. Yeah. Yeah, I heard that.
But yeah,
That's
man.
crazy,
Yeah, just
man.
getting back to the OG, we definitely need some more, people that they can look up to, man. We need more positive influences around and just schooling them and letting them know things and telling them the good and the bad.
Yeah, there you
You
go.
know what I mean? You got to give them both sides of the coin.
You gotta give them both sides.
You got to.
It's the energy that you're giving them.
Yeah, and
the
just be
vibe that
genuine.
you get. Yeah, because they could tell. I'm gonna tell you one thing about a young boy that I already know. They could tell if you're a sucker or not.
Yeah.
They could tell if you're a sucker from the meat bone. They could tell. I'm trying to tell you, they can just so you don't just cut it out, stop it. You don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Damn. I'm glad y'all had me on this show. I had fun. This is fun. This is so much fun, man. Because I mean, man, this is fun.
Man, this is what Filoosh Talk is really about, man. Just sitting down, like I said, with good people, man. Like this guy's a pillar in our neighborhood uptown, man. Major shout out to everybody uptown, man, and all the barbers. I know you work beside one of my good brothers, man. I just want to reflect on him real quick. Brother Rashid, man.
It's my man. I work in
Man,
his
Lord
chair.
bless his soul, man.
I work in his chair, and I'm gonna tell you something real quick.
That's
before
my
we get
heart,
out.
man. You hear me?
Rashid was one of the thoroughest Muslims that I ever met in my life.
Right.
And he was my idol, and he was one
Talk,
of the reasons
man.
why I kept on cutting. But I was blessed to be able to sit in his chair that he cut in for years. And I would watch Bernard Hopkins, Stylistics, all kind of people just sitting in his chair. But he was humble and he was quiet.
Right.
He was a humble brother. So now I have his chair. You know how that make me feel? To be in Rashid's chair.
Man, I grew up in Marshall
all
Law,
started.
man. I love that brother, man. I got a lot of love for that brother. You know?
Fantastic, brother.
Yeah, good heart, good soul, man.
It could be snowing 20 inches deep, and you could ride past Rashid and say, "Brother Rashid, come on, jump in." He said, "No, brother, I'm cool. I'm a wall."
Yeah.
Like, dang. With sneaks on. Nah, brother, I'm a wall. Like, wow,
Yeah,
okay,
he was
Rashid.
different,
That was,
real
yeah, he was
humble.
different.
Real good dude, man.
Yeah, he was definitely the definition of humble.
Yeah,
that's
you,
the
you
old
see
heads
what I
we
mean
need
by
out here.
like that, just that true example, man. Like a man that don't even have to speak a lot. You can just tell by the way he moves,
Yeah.
man. Like that's what I be talking about. Like when I say OG, I'm talking about just thorough brothers, man, that showed us something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
All right, with this last, we got one last comment, man. What they talking about? The young guys not waiting to cut.
Not to his answer. I'm not sure what part you're talking about, but
But you know, we gonna wrap up the show, man. We got Ebo in the house. We had a beautiful show, man. I'm happy he came through. You know, this what I'm talking about. Episode 38 Filoosh Talk. You got anything you want to say in closing, Ebo?
Yeah, I just want to say don't give up. Don't give up and just have super patience, because don't trust in me, trust in your Lord. This is going to stop. It's not going to hang. Listen, this is just a season. It seemed bad, but if you keep it in your head that it's going to always be like that, then it's going to always be within you.
Big facts, big facts. And one last thing, man. You already know the slogan for Filoosh Talk. It's like being at a family cookout. We just having fun, man. Thank y'all for tapping into the conversation. We had a good conversation. Shout out to Ebo for coming through,
Appreciate
kicking
you,
it
man.
with
Thanks
us.
for having me, man.
Episode 38. We out, baby. Filoosh Talk.